apologies to everybody on YouTube, getting started just a little bit later than per usual because of some minor hiccups, but we are doing okay at this time, so very much on the quiet side for now. And again, hopefully it stays that way into the rest of the program. All right, let's go ahead and get Facebook added into this so that we can get everybody on board and make sure that everybody is paying attention for tonight and getting all the information that we can give you where it comes to incidental information on weather. Looks like we're getting there, so we'll go ahead and do this and then click that and go ahead and start the countdown, and we should be ready to go here coming up in just a bit. Thanks a lot to everybody for joining us. It is, again, Thursday evening. We will be giving you more details on the forecast, which is going to include the potential for some much warmer weather coming our way into the semi-near future as we go out of June and head into July. Very good possibility that we're going to be seeing a lot of heat around here. Maybe not record-breaking, but it will be very much on the toasty side, to say the least, over here. So again, we'll have more on that coming up here in just a little bit. If you're joining us on Twitch or YouTube, thanks for joining us. Again, we'll be watching very carefully what goes on with the weather situation into the next few days, which may include severe weather and also a few other problems with flash flooding. But let's get Facebook added in right now. Okay, Facebook now on board and just getting started here at about 9:30. We're on the air a little bit early because of the fact that we've got some recording to do here in the studio at about 10 o'clock Eastern time. And if I'm doing this at 10 o'clock and afterwards, that slows things down. So we're a little earlier on Thursday evening just to make certain that you are up to date with whatever is going on in your world with weather. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. This is Weather Overtime. This is our online video weather blog to where we give you, the viewer, more information as to what's going on. If you got questions, if you just want to say hello, drop it into the comments section. We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you don't want to watch on Facebook, you can find out more on our YouTube or Twitch pages and search us out there at WDEF. Coming up, again, temperatures on their way upwards, so starting July, well above normal, record high temperatures. That's going to be a little iffy over the next few days, but it is definitely going to be a lot hotter out there. And we'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get started and show you more about what's going to be happening starting with overnight, just past about midnight or so. If you got any plans to head out for a nice midnight nosh, not too much of a problem for the time being. Temperatures will be very much on the mild side, so if you have any plans to head out the door, you will not need any rain protection tonight. We did have some showers and a few thunderstorms close to the area, but not really in it. A few speckles of rain around Georgia, but that was about it. And clouds will be coming and going throughout the rest of the evening, so enjoy a snack as you head out the door for later on tonight. High temperatures on the almanac, we were just about where we should be at 88. 89 is the normal, so these numbers are very typical for this time of the year. A little bit cooler than normal on the low temperature. Goose eggs on rainfall for today, so now we have a 1-inch deficit for the month of June, and we're almost over with, so June may go down as a very dry month, and we're now half a foot behind on rain again for the year. So that means it's going to take 6 inches plus just to get us back to normal at this point. So we've got a long way to go when it comes to getting the rainfall distributed around here. We'll talk more about the drought index coming up in just a little while on News 12 at 11. Thanks to our viewers for sending in some great pictures out there. Very colorful one today with petunias mixed in with sweet potato vine leaves. And I got to tell you, my mom used to have petunias in her rock garden back in my hometown of Topeka, Kansas. And the last time I planted sweet potatoes at our house in Memphis, almost lost the backyard to them because they took over just incredibly. Little tip, don't plant sweet potatoes in midsummer, go on vacation, and then come back and expect everything to be quiet. Either way, thank you very much, News 12 viewer Susan from Fort Oglethorpe, for a beautiful view from whatever yard you happen to be in there. And that is our HEP heating weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, please let us know. Oops, shark coming through there. Secret reef cam from the Tennessee Aquarium. You can view this view on their website at tnaqua.org. If you'd like to send in your weather window pictures, we would love to see them and show them. So go ahead and send those in to us by email, social media. Best way to do it is go to our website, wdef.com/photos. That way you can turn yours in and see what everybody else has been sending in for the HEP heating weather window picture of the day. Beautiful for tonight, an absolutely excellent night for getting out and about. The 1% list scenic city camera looking back toward Erlanger Park, lights flickering on and off. Let's see if we can get a closer view from that particular camera over downtown Chattanooga. Lights of Erlanger Park doing their blippity flip right there, and a nice night. Very good, very dry conditions, so we can see the lights on Signal Mountain off in the distance very nicely. And through the rest of the evening, should remain decently dry, but there may be more chances of rain coming up tomorrow. Veterans Memorial Bridge with the Tennessee River flowing through the North Shore toward downtown on the Speedy's total car care camera. Temperatures have dropped maybe a little bit, only by a couple of degrees. We are still in the lower 80s, but it is, as I said, an absolutely gorgeous night out there. So if you have the opportunity to go out and take a stroll, a little humid, but again, otherwise not really seeing a lot of problems. Now the really humid weather, that is going to be coming back our direction in the next several days. Not exactly my favorite thing to tell people about, but there it is. Had some scattered showers try to get going over Fannin, Gilmer, and eastern Murray counties in Georgia. Even some more scattered showers from northeast Georgia down toward the Atlanta metro area. But as of right now, the only thing we have really close to us, if you take a look around areas west of Huntsville, around Athens in Alabama, and down towards south of I-20, west of I-65, some dying thunderstorms taking place there. So beyond that, it is quiet, it is dry, and not seeing much of a problem right now, but this is signs of things to come. So we do have the potential for more rain coming our way in the very immediate future, not tonight, but tomorrow, as this front begins to make its way a little closer to us. Notice the brick red colors that you see there around parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. Those are tornado watches in effect, and they're expecting a good portion of that area to pick up some strong storms into later on tonight. Now, us over here, there's really just not that much going on for right now, and there will be the potential of showers and thunderstorms as this system begins to kind of scrape north of the area. We're not looking at a lot of problems for right now. Early set Friday morning, not much happening. As we go into and around Friday afternoon, that is where we could see the potential of more showers and thunderstorms, and that again is going to keep our humidity levels higher. Could be some lingering showers and thunderstorms into Saturday as well. Enough cloud cover may block the sun and give us a little bit less in the way of a hot weekend, but still very close to normal out there. And then as we go into Sunday, we'll see a minor chance of showers and thunderstorms coming up Sunday afternoon. Best potential of rain will be on Saturday, and then after that, again, not cool Monday morning. Getting into the afternoon, could be very easily back into around the mid to high 90s. The low temperatures tonight, high 60s in northeastern parts of Alabama. Northwest Georgia, high 60s to low 70s. North central Georgia, those higher elevations, you might get a little bit of a reprieve for tonight into the low to mid 60s. It's possible. It's just not a great chance for right now. Western North Carolina, you'll be the coolest. Once again, low 60s. Comfortable here, but not the 40s we saw just about a week or two ago. And southeast Tennessee, Chattanooga, and the rest of the area, high 60s to low 70s. The closer you go to North Carolina and north central Georgia, you may see some mid to low 60s there. Good possibility with the leftover moisture from the rain that we may see some patchy, dense fog overnight, especially in these higher elevations of extreme southeastern Tennessee, North Carolina, and north central Georgia. So pay attention to the forecast. Chip Chapman will have more for you coming up on the morning show. High temperatures tomorrow, again, pretty much exactly where they should be. Not seeing a big amount of major heat just yet, but once again, this is definitely signs of things to come as we get into the next couple of days. So be prepared to take that water along and the sunblock. You're probably going to be needing both of those at least. The Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean, nothing showing up at this time, so very quiet as we go into the next 7 days. That should close out the month of June, the first month of hurricane season in the Atlantic with hardly anything going on. And then we get into the Pacific. New disturbance off of the south coast of Mexico, traveling to the west-northwest. National Hurricane Center giving this an 80% chance of development. That is pretty significant. So this could be our next storm. I believe that's the D storm on here as it moves across. Now, we do also see, again, the potential of this making a fairly straight line back toward the Hawaiian Islands. Whether or not that actually is a threat, this thing still has several thousand miles to go to get there. So if you're planning a trip to Hawaii, does not look like a huge threat, but again, I would monitor this into the next several days just to make certain that you're not heading into a situation you need to turn back around from. Severe threat tonight, not happening. Thunderstorms, just generic down to our south and also up to our north. Tomorrow, we see a threat of thunderstorms, just again, thunderstorms, not seeing severe weather. That will be well back to our northwest. And then, as we go into Saturday, the dark green category does indicate the possibility of severe weather, but it is not a huge outbreak on the other side of the scale. That means, again, there is the potential of severe weather. The main risk will be damaging winds, and that is something we'll all have to watch out for because, again, the weekend, everybody out and about, last weekend of June, everybody's going to be trying to have a good time, but be prepared to move back indoors once again. When thunder roars, go indoors. It's a very simple little rhyming mechanism, but if it saves people's lives, I'm all for it. Now, beyond that, there is no other severe weather expected to be seen for anywhere throughout the next several days. That's good news in and of itself. There is also the potential of flash flooding going on. It's minimal, and it's mainly up to around, say, I-40 up into the Virginias. Not seeing a great deal of problems where we are, except in the northern parts of the News 12 viewing area. So again, that's something else you want to be very much aware of into the next few days. We're coming up on the end of National Lightning Safety Awareness Week. We'll take a look at the poll coming up here in just a little while. The topic for today is lightning safety and sports activities, and that's a very important thing to know about, whether or not it's a outdoor picnic or a little league ball game or Major League Baseball, NFL, anything involving race cars. You can't get 50 to 100,000 people to safety immediately. So someone should be responsible for watching what goes on when it comes to foul weather heading through a particular area, and that is critical when you've got many thousands of people out there. So making certain you are safe indoors and out. Again, taking a look at the science of lightning and thunder. Tomorrow's topic will be medical effects on lightning victims. And if you saw our poll yesterday, you saw that you can safely touch somebody who's been struck by lightning because the lightning charge, the electricity running through that victim's body goes away very, very quickly, and it is not a residual type thing. So you can touch someone who has been struck by lightning. Now, if there's a power line because lightning brought it down or wind going across some part of their body, no, you cannot touch them then because you don't know if that power line or whatever other line it is energized. So you need to be able to call 911 as soon as possible to check, and then make certain that you can go and do the rescue procedure at that point. Or you can use a dry wooden pole to make certain the water doesn't conduct electricity. Can't use metal because, again, that could conduct electricity, but then you can move the wire off of the victim and make certain that they are safe. More information, lightningsafetycouncil.org if you'd like to know more. Great opportunity to learn more about safety as we go into the rest of the forecast. Okay, so for tonight, where did my other camera go? We've already done this one. That one over with? No, there we go. Okay, got a little bit of some sunset light left. Not by much, but it is still a beautiful view from Island Cove. All of our cameras available on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam Network page. You can get there by going to wdef.com/weather. Next couple of days, again, pretty close to normal, but then numbers start to climb as we head through the rest of the first few days of July. Again, not triple digits, but close enough. These are just the air temperatures. Combine that with the humidity that's in and around the air, and you get the feels-like index, and it's a very good possibility that we'll see triple-digit heat indexes in the next several days. If those go close to or over 105 degrees, not the temperature, but again, the heat index temperature, that is where we might see some heat advisories being issued by the National Weather Service. And with numbers like this out there, it would have to be bone dry to make certain that no other type of advisories are issued. If it's dry, your sweat just leaps off your skin, evaporation cools you down. But when there's more humidity in the air, it's harder for your skin to evaporate that moisture, and that does a good job of keeping you more sweaty and less cool. So the more humidity, the less comfortable you're going to be. That's why we have the heat index. Also, before anybody decides to email or write or call, we did not make it up. It is a real thing. There's a mathematical formula to determine that type of information. So please don't waste anybody's time by writing and saying, oh, that's a fake thing, you're just making that up for ratings. No, we're not. No, we haven't. We did not create it to scare people, just like everything else we do here. So again, please just, if you want to know more about the heat index, I'd be glad to send you some information, but unfortunately, that's going to take some time, and I'll be glad to help anybody out learn stuff if at all possible. So if you'd like to know more about what goes on there, please let me know by email down at the bottom of your screen. Important day coming up this weekend. It starts Saturday and finishes up on Sunday because of where we are on the planet, but it's called Field Day. It starts and ends the biggest day in amateur radio through the year. Operators, clubs, individuals try to operate from the field instead of their home base. So you'll see tents and trailers and antennas and power supplies sitting out where you don't usually see that. Sometimes on city or county property, sometimes at parks around the area, sometimes again in a borrowed driveway someplace. There are many locations where certain clubs are going to be setting up to practice for field day. The idea is that you practice getting out into the field in this type of situation. It's a good PR move for amateur radio, and it's a good way to iron out problems before a disaster strikes. This is a contest event. You have many different ways to win points, and one of the things that you can do is, again, contact as many other clubs or operators using different modes like Morse code or sideband or a lot of other stuff like that. I'm kind of out of practice. I've had some equipment problems, so I have not been on the air as much as I would like to. But if you'd like to stop by, there are about, give or take, about a dozen amateur radio events going on around the News 12 viewing area in and around Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and Western North Carolina. Stop by these events, ask questions, and find out details about what it's all about and how you can get involved in it. It is not a dying hobby. It is actually quite adaptable to the changes in technology. You learn about safety, you learn about law, you learn about proper communications practices and how to make contact, how to deal with interference, how to be very, very careful around electricity, which in the right amount can kill you. So that is a very important thing. American Radio Relay League, arrl.org/field-day, if you'd like to know more there. Also, a local group has contacted me to ask to spread the word on this. They will be having a sort of drop-by situation starting at about 2 p.m. on Saturday. If you would like to stop by the Cleveland, Tennessee Amateur Radio Club, they would love for you to stop by if you're not an amateur radio operator and learn more. This is a perfect way to learn about the technology from people who have decades of experience. Small hint, a person who has a lot of experience in amateur radio from days gone by is called an Elmer. That's a nickname there. Again, this will be happening in Cleveland, Tennessee. If you'd like to know more about this, again, this will be at the Amateur Radio Club of Cleveland. If you'd like to know more about directions, if you'd like to know more about reserving a spot, again, it's free, but they would like to know beforehand who is showing up. So again, please email k4rxs@carc.cc, or you can go to carc.cc and go and let them know through that area right there. The address is there, all the information, and I will be there at noon on Saturday. I will be talking about severe weather resources that would come in very handy when the power goes out and all you have is a cell phone and just basic, maybe, internet service. So that is my pleasure to go talk to them. Thanks to Cleveland ARC for inviting me for this. Looking forward to it. Again, I'll be there at noon, but if you'd like to show up for the activation, that happens at 2 o'clock Eastern Time in Cleveland. And as we showed you just a minute ago, there are a whole bunch of other clubs out there that you can visit, probably nearby where you are. So if you'd like to stop by and again find out a little bit more to what is going on for this evening, that'd be a great way to learn a little bit more there. All right, let's go ahead and switch over here to just a quick second so we can show you a little bit more about our lightning display for this week. Our polls this week have been all about lightning since it is National Lightning Safety Awareness Week. And the topic for today was, what are the odds in an average lifetime in the United States, what are your odds of being struck by lightning? Just to give you an idea, winning the Powerball or any of the big jackpots, your odds are about 1 in 300 million. So what are the odds of being struck by lightning? Quite a lot less when it comes to the numbers here, which means your chances are much greater that you will be struck by lightning. But which one is it? 1 in 1,500, 1 in 15,000 or so, or 1 in 1,530,000? The correct answer is, give or take, it's about 15,300. So your odds, and this is really something to think about on here, to remember that you stand a much better chance of being struck by lightning than you do for actually winning the lottery. Technically, also, you stand a much better chance of getting hit by a meteor in your lifetime as well. Not kidding about that. Those are the odds right there. So thanks to Williams Plumbing for being our sponsor for this poll. Really great to have our sponsors on here. And thanks to all the sponsors for helping us out on there. Into the morning hours, it will be on the cool-ish side. We're just not looking at too much in the way of lots of nice, cool, crisp mornings. Probably not going to see too much of those until about November or so. So not much of anything able to be happening there. Trey Castile, Priceville, Alabama, warm and muggy just like everybody else. Thanks for asking the question. Probably highs in the 90s or so and lows in the 70s for the foreseeable future. So thanks very much for asking on that. All right, that should do it for tonight. They're getting set up in the studio behind me. Again, Chip Chapman will have more on your forecast coming up on the morning show on Friday. Of course, I'll have more details on weather overtime coming up a little bit later on next week, and then we'll also again have more tonight at 11, and I'll see you again on 11 o'clock and the other shows coming up on Friday, so be sure to stay tuned there. Questions, concerns, ideas, email me in the blue bar at aonic@wdef.com. I'll have more tonight at 11. Thanks for joining us, and we'll have more for you again